Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a concept that's honestly a total game changer. We're exploring the idea that true power doesn't actually come from being the loudest person in the room. Instead, it comes from mastering the art of absolute silence. It's an incredible journey into emotional mastery, drawing on timeless wisdom that shows us exactly how to build an unbreakable fortress of calm within ourselves. Let's get right into it. So let's just set the stage here with a quick question. I want you to really think about this for a second. Have you ever encountered that one person whose mere presence just brings this deep, unshakable calm to the room? You know the type. They don't have to raise their voice or demand attention, yet when they finally do speak, everyone else instinctively pauses and listens. They have this magnetic aura of authority and peace. How do they do it? What's their secret? Section 1. Difference between noise and silence. We're going to start our journey by looking at the stark contrast between two very different paths you can take in life. Now, what's really fascinating here is the fundamental difference in how people navigate the world. On the left side, look at the reactive person. They're constantly living in an emotional storm. You know, the kind of person who just feels like they have to reply to every single internet comment or passive-aggressive email. They're easily provoked, and because of that, they're perpetually surrounded by chaos and drama. But on the right, we have the silent observer. This person watches, listens, and only speaks when absolutely necessary. Instead of pushing people away with chaotic energy, the silent observer draws people in with their grounded, peaceful presence. And the crucial point is captured perfectly right here. If fire erupts within you, understand that person rules over you. Think about how profound that is. When you let someone else's careless words or actions trigger anger within you, you are literally handing them the remote control to your own inner peace. They become the master of your emotions, basically making you dance like a puppet just by uttering a few syllables. To really illustrate this idea of emotional ownership, let's look at a brilliant little anecdote from our source material. It's a simple story, sure, but it packs a massive psychological punch. Picture this. You're walking through a busy market, and suddenly, out of nowhere, someone hurls a terrible insult at you. What's your immediate reaction? Well, according to the story, an angry young man goes up to a wise old village man. He is absolutely furious because someone publicly insulted him in the market, and he demands to know what to do. The old man just listens calmly and then asks, "When exactly did you feel bad?" The youth is completely confused and says, "When he cursed me, obviously." And the old man profoundly replies, "Then he is your master." This is an incredible revelation. The old man is teaching him that true freedom is becoming so utterly quiet inside that an insult literally can't even reach you. If you don't accept the insult, it stays with the person who threw it, leaving you completely untouchable. Moving on to Section 2, silence is strength, not weakness. Let's go ahead and dismantle the biggest societal myth out there about quiet people. We're constantly told by society that if we don't fight back verbally, we're losing, or we're showing fear or submission. But actually, the reality is the exact opposite. Silence is unbreakable strength. The person who doesn't react to every little provocation is actually conserving massive amounts of mental and emotional energy. So while the reactive person completely drains their battery on useless arguments, this silent person is gathering their energy. And because they speak so rarely, when they finally do choose to speak, their words carry incredible weight. They become as heavy, rare, and valuable as gold. This leads us to a brilliant water metaphor from our source. Think about it. You can throw a stone into a lake, or even yell at the water, and what happens? You get a few little ripples on the surface, and then it just goes right back to total calm. It doesn't fight back, but when that exact same silent water is focused and directed, it holds the immense hydraulic power to cut straight through solid rock and completely transform landscapes. Your silence should be exactly like that directed water, totally undisturbed by the petty stones thrown by other people, but immensely powerful when focused on your actual goals. And you know, this practiced silence creates a seriously powerful aura of mystery, because the silent person doesn't just spill every single thought that crosses their mind, they become completely unreadable. You literally can't predict what they're going to do next. This makes people incredibly careful around them. They'll think 100 times before trying to provoke or cross a silent person. Plus, because their mind isn't clouded by constant internal chatter, their gaze becomes super sharp. Piercing eye contact from someone like this can make you feel completely exposed, demanding respect without them uttering a single syllable. All right, Section 3, learn to respond, not react. So how do we actually apply this in the real world? Well, it all comes down to the mechanics of restraint. The big takeaway here is understanding the massive difference between a reaction and a response. A reaction, That's an instant, thoughtless, emotional explosion. It's that moment you snap and say something hurtful out of anger, only to deeply regret it an hour later. A response, though, is beautifully different. A response is delayed, it's calculated, it stems from a place of deep understanding and total internal stability. The silent master always responds, they never just react. And the tool to shift from reaction to response is surprisingly simple, though, let's be real, not always easy. It's the 1-second pause. Just a single intentional pause when you feel that hot flash of anger rising up. As agonizing as it is to hold back that perfectly petty text message you just drafted, that one single second of stillness short-circuits the reaction. It prevents bad decisions, it saves irreplaceable relationships, and most importantly, it makes you the master of your anger, rather than letting your anger master you. There's also this profound trap that so many of us fall into, the trap of over-explaining. As this quote perfectly highlights, the one who constantly explains themselves gives away their power. When someone falsely accuses you or tries to bait you, feeling this desperate need to justify yourself just proves you care about their opinion. You are validating their attack. True power is often found in simply smiling, refusing to engage with the drama, and just calmly walking away. Your silence tells them their opinion holds absolutely zero weight in your reality. Section 4. The Witness. Practicing silence. We've now reached the spiritual core of our explainer, focusing on a really profound psychological state that ties everything together. This is the concept of the witness. I want you to imagine your life with all its chaotic events, insults, and drama as a fast-moving, turbulent river. The witness is the mental state of just sitting comfortably on the riverbank. You see the debris floating by, you see the crazy waves, but you never feel the urge to jump into the freezing water. You just watch. That is the ultimate goal, becoming the silent observer who watches life flow by while maintaining total internal detachment from the chaos. Now, building this mental shield doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice and deliberate stepping stones. You have to start small. Practice ignoring minor teasing or little inconveniences. Then, consciously step away from useless arguments that just go nowhere. Start protecting your vulnerabilities. You don't need to share every weakness with the world. And finally, you've got to learn the incredible power of saying a firm, unapologetic no. Saying no to draining situations and toxic people is the absolute foundation of your silent boundary. And as you build those boundaries, a really fascinating nuance comes up regarding forgiving and forgetting when people wrong you. A silent master always forgives. Why? Well, because holding on to anger is literally like drinking poison. Forgiving drops that internal burden of resentment purely for your own peace of mind. But, and this is absolutely key, the silent master never forgets. Forgetting would just be foolishly giving that toxic person another chance to disturb your peace. You forgive to protect your present, but you don't forget so you can protect your future. Which brings us to Section 5, the true secret of peace. Let's uncover the most surprising truth about where this profound silence actually comes from. You might think that the most peaceful people have just lived really easy lives, but what's truly fascinating is that it's usually the exact opposite. The deepest, most invincible silence belongs to the person who has survived the absolute worst storms. When your character is forged in the fire of immense pain and you make it out the other side, trivial, everyday drama just can't shake you anymore. Someone who has survived a hurricane doesn't flinch at a light breeze, right? Their silence is a living testament to their survival. To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final, really powerful realization. This unshakable, invincible silence isn't something you have to go out and buy or artificially create. It's actually already your true underlying nature, just waiting beneath all that mental clutter. It's a shield that is already within you. So the question is, will you keep wasting your precious energy on the endless noise and provocations of the world? Or are you finally ready to stop reacting, take a step back, and claim your invincibility? The choice, as always, is entirely up to you.